We begin with news from Jamaica, where there are many things to report between Monday night and Tuesday. The Prime Minister and Finance Minister delivered a joint national address announcing a new debt exchange offer hoping to save $17 billion a year. And a surprise new $16 billion tax package was announced in Parliament. But first, to Monday night's address. It was the first time in recent memory that the Prime Minister held a joint national address, and she started with an admission of failure, although not limited to her administration.
As a country, we have not delivered on the expectations of growth and development. Every administration must share this responsibility.
The bulk of the announcements were left for Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips. It was a list of things that the government must do before the IMF will give them another loan. First up, no more discretionary waivers. Those will be virtually eliminated. Second, wage restraint. Phillips says government needs to bring its wage bill to 9% of GDP by 2015-16. It's now estimated at over 11%. By our calculations, that means cutting about 28 billion Jamaican dollars from the wage bill. Who knows how many jobs that will amount to? Third on the list is the Public Debt Management Act, which government has already passed and which is the only thing on the checklist that the government can mark off. But all three have been mentioned before and were no secret. The bombshell was in the fourth prior action and what Phillips says is the most urgent. Although it's been speculated for some time, Phillips has finally revealed that the government is undertaking what's being branded as a National Debt Exchange, NDX.
A national debt exchange offer will be launched with the support of leading private sector financial institutions. Let me assure bondholders that there will be no haircut on their principal investment. This offer, which we urge bondholders to accept, will make possible the reduction of our debt to GDP ratios by 8.5%, or around $17 billion per year between now and 2020.
The aim is to bring the debt down to 95% of GDP in just 7 years. It's now at a staggering 140%, which government simply can't afford to continue servicing.
It will be painful and difficult, but we have no option. Many of our bondholders, with good reason, will immediately respond to this announcement with a sense of disappointment, as they recall that they made a similar sacrifice for Jamaica 3 years ago, when they were assured that their sacrifice would have put Jamaica on the path to growth and stability. I am only too aware of the fact that for them to be asked to make another sacrifice at this time is a burden that will be hard to bear.
So what will be different this time around? Despite the sacrifices of the 2010 debt exchange, there was no growth in the economy last year, and the debt to GDP ratio actually remained about the same. Phillips says this time it will work because there will be a special oversight committee and also a dedicated unit in his ministry. Additionally, he says it's the first time that Jamaica will have to complete these important benchmarks before an IMF deal even starts, as opposed to during the term of the agreement, as is usually the case. And Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller says,
There's absolutely no room for non-performance. I insist on full accountability from everyone, every department, every ministry, every government entity,